Welcome back to the Vet Talk Platform podcast. I'm Michael, and today we're diving into an important topic that affects many veterans transitioning to civilian life, employment struggles, and the impact of planning or lack thereof. In our first episode, we touched on some broad challenges veterans face. Today, we're getting specific with the employment aspect, comparing those who had a solid plan versus those who went in without one. Let me start by sharing a bit of my own experience. When I decided to transition out of the Army in May of 2014, I had a plan. Looking back, I realized it wasn't the best plan, but I wanted to prove that I could make it on my own. Before I separated, I enrolled in Universal Technical Institute to get certified as an automotive diesel technician. I already had experience as a mechanic, but I thought this certification would give me a bargaining chip when approaching new employers. After leaving Fort Bliss, Texas, I moved to Pennsylvania, be close to my best friend. I attended tech school full-time near Philadelphia, managed to secure a part-time job at the Freightliner dealership in Harrisburg. Juggling full-time education and part-time work was incredibly stressful, but I was determined to make it work. I knew I was putting myself in a position where I had no choice but to be successful. For those familiar with the distance from Philly to Harrisburg, you know it's quite the daily commute. I racked up a lot of miles on my truck during that 14-month ordeal. How stressful was it? I found ways to enjoy cups of ramen with Cool Ranch Doritos crushed in to add more flavor. One major highlight was experiencing the stigma of being one of the oldest students in school. I made some great friends, learned more about social media thanks to Tyler, Dan, Steve, Joey, Eric, Evan, and Matt, to name a few. Not going to lie, I felt out of place. The courses being taught were very fundamental and based on the principles of automotive knowledge, something I had already learned during individual training at Fort Knox, Kentucky. I think it was FM 9-8000. I used to have a digital copy somewhere, but that was several laptops ago, so I'm not sure exactly. Having been trained in the basics by the military, the VA wanted me to test out several of the subjects offered. I ended up taking 13 tests, passing 9 of them. That was 9 fewer courses that were covered by the GI Bill. So keep that in mind. If you're planning to use your GI Bill to cover training that the military has already provided, they may ask you to test out of certain subjects. I didn't have a long-term plan on where to go afterwards, besides moving back home eventually. I didn't think there were many jobs in the area, which turns out I was wrong. Always research the areas that you want to go to. Now, initially, I planned to have an interview with a fellow veteran to discuss the differences between having a solid plan like mine and not having one. Unfortunately, due to our busy life schedules, we couldn't coordinate the interview in time for this episode. However, I will share some insights and experiences on this topic and hope to bring that interview in a future episode. So, what are the key differences between the two scenarios? To dive deeper, I've gathered some insights from career counselors and transition coaches. It's worth noting the VA offers personalized career planning and guidance under Chapter 36. If you use this benefit and would like to share your experience, please send me a message through the website at vettalkplatform.com. Also, check out standbesideThem.org, a 501(c) nonprofit organization specializing in career development, executive leadership, small business development, and more. Planning ahead offers numerous benefits. Number 1, goal setting. Clear short-term and long-term goals help direct your efforts. Had I done more long-term goal planning, it would have turned out different for me for sure. 2, skills identification. Knowing your transferable skills can make you more marketable. 3, networking. Goes without saying, building connections before you transition can open doors. Reach out to as many people as possible. Resources utilization. There are many programs designed to help veterans transition smoothly. On the other hand, not planning can lead to emotional and financial stress. Uncertainty about the future can definitely be overwhelming. Adaptation issues, difficulty in adjusting to civilian work environments. Number 7, job search struggles. Without direction, finding suitable employment can be challenging. If you're preparing to transition, here are some practical steps to consider. Start early. Begin planning at least a year before your transition. I know in the Army, you can begin to transition out a year out, start taking the TAPS program and ACAP. I don't know if it's still the same. It's been about 10 years now. Identify your goals. Define what you want to achieve both in short term and long term. Leverage your skills. Translate your military skills into civilian terms. Consider further education or certifications if needed. Network. Connect with other veterans who have successfully transitioned. Attend as many job fairs and industry events as you can. And utilize resources. Programs like this one, Hire Heroes USA, the VA, and search for local veteran support groups, and they can be invaluable. I want to hear from you. What challenges have you faced in your transition personally? What strategies worked for you? What didn't? If you want to share your story or ask any questions in our community forum or on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, I think I have a Twitter. Your experiences could help another veteran on their journey, and that's our main goal here. In summary, having a plan can make a significant difference in your transition from military to civilian life. It's not about having a perfect plan, but having a direction and utilizing available resources. Thank you for tuning in to the Vet Talk Platform podcast. Don't forget to visit our website for additional resources, subscribe to the podcast, and share it with your fellow veterans. Together, we can support each other through this journey. Thank you.